This is a movie review, and this is the 2002 movie About Schmidt. It's directed by Alexander Payne, based on a novel by Louis Begley, written for the screen by Alexander Payne, the director, and Jim Taylor. The cast: in the lead role is Jack Nicholson, and he plays Warren Schmidt. Kathy Bates plays Roberta Herzl. She is the mother of a young man who is about to become the husband of Warren's daughter. Warren's daughter, Jeannie, is played by Hope Davis, and Randall Herzl is played by Dermot Mulroney. There are a few other supporting actors. Larry Herzl, who's Randall's father, he's played by Howard Hessman, and finally Warren's wife, Helen, is played by June Squibb. This film was pretty successful. There were 2 nominations for Academy Awards, one for Best Actor in a Leading Role for Nicholson, and Best Supporting Role for Kathy Bates. At the Globes, Nicholson won the Premier Award for Actor, and it won for Screenplay for Alexander Payne and Jim Taylor. Nominations for Motion Picture Drama, Supporting Actress for Kathy Bates, and Best Director. And finally, the BAFTAs was nominated for Best Acting Performance for Jack Nicholson. Okay, so let's have this review of About Schmidt, the 2002 movie, starring Jack Nicholson and directed by Payne, Alexander Payne. Now, for those of us who are retired or approaching retirement age and live in the West, this movie gives a stark reality check on what can happen after years working in a steady job for a faceless company or government department, and how events can unwrap quickly, resulting in a huge void in one's life. Now, having said that, this film is not a journey into sadness and loneliness, although there are moments that show this. Jack Nicholson in the lead role is very different from his previous roles in countless great movies. He offers a mix of mood. He broods, he rebels, he cries, and he shows restraint untypical of him in other films. Sometimes his talk can be quite uninspiring, but he holds strong views that are unearthed at times in the script. However, it is still a Jack movie. I use the word Jack rather than his character Warren, because that's basically how we view it when we see him. He's Jack. He's in every shot, and his character dominates in a subtle, restrained way. So Warren Schmidt, played by Nicholson, we see a farewell retirement which lacks genuine comment and genuine feeling. Writer-director Payne always impressed me in Election and subsequent movies, and shows us early on the concrete jungle where Warren works, and he captures poignant moments with Warren on his last day, a barren office devoid of photos, and a terminally long wait for the clock to hit 5 o'clock as Warren leaves his office for the last time. This scene is quickly followed by glimpses of what retirement throws up for a long-standing marriage with routines well established. Being with somebody 24/7 is much more challenging than sauntering in at the end of the day after a day at the office. And then suddenly his doting wife of 42 years passes away, and his daughter Jeannie, played by Hope Davis, is at the funeral with her fiance, whom Warren considers inferior. The fiance is played by Dermot Mulroney, and this inferiority is because of the man's self-help projects and obsession with a pyramid scheme. The bond of close family is tested, as clearly Janine has little time for a widower who is in need of some TLC. Bickering takes place between father and daughter over the cost of the casket, for example, and other minor matters. Warren then seeks solace in sponsoring an impoverished child of primary age and starts writing letters to the needy child, which becomes a sort of therapy for Warren to offload his recent life changes. The monologues that follow Warren receiving letters from the African boy is an angle that enables Payne to continue the pretense of Warren's life story. His words present a somewhat biased view of his own worth, prone to an exaggerated picture of how events have mapped out for him throughout his life. There are also scenes when Warren has a clear out of his wife's belongings. He then finds love letters from a so-called friend. This provokes an angry exchange at a supermarket car park. Secrets that are kept from our loved ones. And he enjoys the freedom of shopping alone with a free abandon. A recently bought camper van prompts Warren to go on a road trip, with the final destination being his daughter's town for her planned wedding. He meets a friendly, somewhat extrovert couple at a motor park, and we witness him trying to socially mix, which is a challenge for Warren. 40 years plus in insurance hasn't left him with a bag of social skills to cope with, and an occupational therapist who starts to psychoanalyze Warren isn't really what he needs. He makes a poor judgment call with the woman and has to leave in a hurry. Visits to his old school and where he used to live are uncomfortable, and I sense painful for Warren. The memories will certainly bring this to your mind while watching. We next see Warren behind a cattle wagon, which Warren dwells on. The cattle are off to the slaughterhouse. Maybe he is as well. The time at Janine's is the most amusing segment, courtesy of a free-spirited Roberta, played brilliantly by Kathy Bates. She's the mother of the future son-in-law. She views Warren as a potential catch, and there is an amusing couple of scenes with a waterbed and a spa pool and some powerful painkillers for a sore neck. Here he reminded me a little of the character McMurphy from Cuckoo's Nest. Bates is a tremendous addition, breathing new life to a plot that was stuttering to a standstill. Payne tempts us into thinking that Warren might speak his mind at speech time at the wedding reception, but he behaves himself, returning to his role he has performed for years to wife and daughter. He delivers what the guest wants, a selfless statement. The obligations then fulfilled, a journey home and a letter waiting for him. This is an okay movie with a great central performance by Nicholson. The problem, however, is that supporting cast, with the exception of Bates, had little in terms of plot and character development. But I suggest you give it a watch. It's still remarkable watching the talent of one Jack Nicholson. And of course we haven't seen him for many years now, so we must treasure these opportunities at every juncture.